Hai Colors People, selamat datang di Talk More Than Talk dengan saya Satria Pamungkas. Dan hari ini kita akan berbicara mengenai Get to Know the New Normal in UK. Dan seperti yang kita tahu kalau keputusan dari Gubernur Jawa Timur kemarin itu bilang kalau Surabaya Raya itu PSBB-nya dihentikan mulai tanggal 9 Juni 2020 ini. Nah, dengan masa transisi menuju the new normal ini ya, kita semua ini harus melakukan kegiatan dengan protokol kesehatan. Akhirnya Ibu Wali Kota Surabaya, Ibu Tri Risma hari ini juga mengeluarkan perwali. Bentar, saya lihat contekan saya dulu. Nih, contekan saya ya untuk hari ini. Jadi Ibu Wali Kota Surabaya, Tri Risma hari ini mengeluarkan yang namanya Peraturan Wali Kota atau Perwali nomor 28 tahun 2020 untuk mengatur tatanan new normal. Nah, di sini ada 12 poin yang ditekankan oleh Ibu Tri Risma hari ini. Jadi poin pertama itu adalah menjelaskan mengenai protokol kegiatan atau protokol kesehatan untuk kegiatan belajar mengajar atau pendidikan. Kemudian protokol kegiatan protokol kesehatan untuk kegiatan di kantor, kemudian protokol kesehatan di rumah ibadah, kemudian yang keempat adalah protokol kesehatan fasilitas umum, kemudian protokol kesehatan di restoran dan juga kafe. Jadi buat Colors People nih yang suka nongkrong, suka jalan-jalan gitu ya, nongkrong di kafe-kafe. Kemudian ada juga protokol kesehatan yang akan diterapkan di toko, di swalayan, dan juga di pusat perbelanjaan. Kemudian ada juga protokol kesehatan di pasar, protokol kesehatan di hotel, apartemen, dan juga rumah susun, dan juga ada di tempat konstruksi. Bahkan ada juga ini protokol kesehatan yang akan diterapkan di tempat hiburan, kemudian protokol kesehatan untuk kegiatan sosial budaya, dan juga pergerakan orang dan barang dengan menggunakan yang namanya transportasi ya. Kalau misalnya kita semua ini melanggar yang namanya protokol kesehatan yang diterapkan oleh pemerintah Kota Surabaya, sanksinya untuk kita warga Kota Surabaya adalah sanksinya ada mulai dari sanksi ringan sampai dengan sanksi yang cukup berat ya. Jadi sanksi yang pertama itu berupa teguran, kemudian ada juga yang namanya penyitaan KTP, kemudian penghentian kegiatan sampai dengan ada juga pencabutan izin usaha. Nah, bahkan ini dari Peraturan Wali Kota nomor 28 tahun 2020 kali ini, setiap pelaku badan usaha, tempat kerja dan juga kantor pemerintahan ini wajib membentuk yang namanya Satgas COVID-19 yang tugasnya adalah menegakkan protokol kesehatan untuk menertibkan masyarakat di lingkungan masing-masing. Dan itu adalah semua protokol yang diberikan oleh Ibu Tri Risma hari ini untuk menertibkan masyarakat Surabaya dalam transisi menuju new normal. Gimana kira-kira? Kalau people sudah siapkah dengan tatanya new normal yang akan diberlakukan di Kota Surabaya pada waktu dekat ini ya. Semoga kalau misalnya kalau people berkegiatan juga tetap menjaga protokol kesehatan. Dan yang pastinya saya juga berdoa semoga kalau people hari ini dalam keadaan sehat-sehat saja. Nah, hari ini saya akan berbicara dengan salah satu teman saya yang ada di Inggris ya. Kita akan berbicara, ini bukan comparison sih, maksudnya tapi lebih ke sharing-sharing aja. Kita pengen tahu seperti apa sih kalau new normal yang ada di negara Inggris gitu kan. Kalau di negara Indonesia sendiri kan memang PSBB sudah berakhir ya. Banyak sekali orang-orang itu yang kemudian berbahagia gitu karena PSBB sudah berakhir, kemudian PSBB juga sudah dilonggarkan begitu ya. Yang kemudian sepertinya kalau saya menilai sih ya, saya menilainya sih ini sepertinya disalahartikan karena sebenarnya tatanan new normal itu bukan literally normal kalau people. Cuman mungkin yang saya lihat ya dari pantauan saya sehari-hari selama kurang lebih 2 hari ini itu kayak di jalanan udah mulai macet. Ya karena memang kan kegiatan perekonomian sudah mulai jalan lagi gitu kan. Cuman memang banyak sekali masih ditemukan pelanggaran-pelanggaran seperti banyak orang yang masih lalu lalang tanpa menggunakan masker atau mungkin tanpa juga melakukan praktek social distancing gitu ya. Nanti di jam 7 malam saya akan berbicara dengan teman saya yang ada di Inggris yang bernama Michaela Fern. Oke? Dan ini saya akan apa ya istilahnya saya akan bikin kesepakatan bersama dengan Colors People kalau live Instagram ini tidak akan selama yang kalian bayangkan ya, mungkin kita akan stick sampai dengan di waktu 20 menitan aja. Jadi nanti saya akan mulai jam 7 malam. Kemudian nanti juga kita akan berakhir kurang lebih di jam 7 lewat 20 menit ya. Kalau berbicara soal saya dan Michaela ini saya bertemu di walking tour. Jadi waktu 3 tahun yang lalu di tahun 2017, Michaela dan juga saya ini bertemu di acaranya Surabaya on Food. Hai, shout out to Surabaya on Food ya. Kemudian kita akhirnya berteman akrab sampai sekarang Michaela akhirnya kembali ke negaranya. Nah, nanti kalau misalnya dalam interview kali ini ya, dalam sharing-sharing kali ini, karena saya akan menggunakan bahasa Inggris, kalau misalnya nanti ada ya lack of English dari saya, mohon dimaklumi ya Colors People, karena kan memang bahasa Inggris juga bukan bahasa ibu kita gitu kan. Tapi yang pasti semoga buat Colors People semuanya bisa apa ya istilahnya mendapatkan informasi dari live Instagram saya yang jarang-jarang terjadi ini. Kalau boleh sharing sedikit, saya sejujurnya sedikit nervous untuk kali ini ya. Coba saya cek untuk Michaela, apakah dianya sudah join bersama dengan saya untuk kali ini. Coba kita akan cek ya. Michaela, alright then. Menunggu Michaela untuk bergabung live Instagram bersama dengan saya. Hello. Hey. How are you? I cannot hear your voice. Can you just put your ear? Did you put your earphone already? Hello. Hello, Michaela. I cannot hear you. Or maybe you can just take off the earphone for a while. So maybe I can check. I want to do the comparison.
You hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Hello, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You?
I'm fine, thank you very much. The last time we were doing a video call like this, that was like a week ago, I believe, when I asked you to do this. So now I want to thank you for doing this for me, for making time to share with me about the new normal life in UK.
Okay.
All right then. But the first thing first, the last time I saw you, that was when the last day before you fly back to England. That was, I believe, on March.
24th of March. Yeah.
24th of March, and then the next day you are flying 6,000 miles away from Surabaya to England. Tell me, how's the experience? You know, because traveling at at the pandemic situation is not an option. It's not a suggestion. It's not a good advice to do. But you have to go back to your country and tell me your experience when you do that.
Yeah. Well, leaving Surabaya, if I remember correctly, I was temperature checked in Surabaya, and I flew from Surabaya.
Check,
yeah, flew from Surabaya to Singapore. The plane was fairly empty, but they didn't do any kind of social distancing. There were rows of empty seats, but at that point, there were still people quite close to me. And then got to Singapore, and I had something like, it was like either 9 or 11 hours layover. So,
what was life about waiting 9 hours in the airport?
Yeah, well, we couldn't go into the, do you know the bit where it's got like the indoor kind of forest and all the shops, the nice place?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'd read about that, and they said, no, you can't go there because you have to go through immigration. And if I'd gone through immigration, that would have been 2-week lockdown. So,
oh no.
but I have to say, Singapore airport's still really good, and they had like free cinemas, and it wasn't too bad. And I went through one area going from one terminal to another, where they had people sitting there and they had computer screens, and I think it was some kind of, I don't know, machine that checked your temperature. So I'm assuming if you glowed red on the screen when they were watching you, they'd pull you aside and check you.
Oh yeah, it was like the same machine they did with the MERS.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
back 6 years ago. Yeah.
And then the plane going to the UK was full. No social distancing. I think there's 1 or 2 seats. But from what I gather, lots of people that I was in the waiting area with when we were waiting to depart were telling me that they'd come from different places, that maybe their holidays had been cancelled. And I think they were all on different airlines originally. So my flight had been cancelled. My travel agent got me onto Singapore Airlines. So, yeah, and instead of flying into Birmingham, which is closer to my home in the UK, I had to fly into London Heathrow. So, yeah, I mean, as usual, I think I'm a magnet for screaming babies, because there was a lot of screaming babies on a night flight. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean,
Tell me the experience when the first time you arrived at Heathrow.
I was very shocked because I assumed that there would either be people there waiting to test you, or you were having to fill forms in or something, and there was absolutely nothing. So
Really?
nothing. I mean, obviously, I'm not. I don't think our government have handled this situation very well. I wouldn't want to be in government. I wouldn't want to be the one making the decisions, but still, I I presented myself because I got off the plane and we went through passport control, so immigration, and it was just before 6 a.m. So I was very surprised at how empty the airport was and how easy it was. I didn't have to really queue. And my passport, I don't know whether it's my passport wasn't working on the self scanner, but I did have to go and see somebody to get it scanned. And I actually said to them, they said, where have you come from? And I said, Singapore. And I said, but I was in Indonesia. And they went, okay. And I just said, do I need to do anything, you know? And this guy looked at me and he said, I think there's a poster up outside. And I was like, okay. Go out of that area to the baggage reclaim, and there's me. I'm kind of looking for posters. Nothing I could see. Got my bags, and then you have to go through, similar to Surabaya, go through customs. And there was nobody on the customs tables, but there was one guy sitting right by the door at a desk. So you've got the double doors to the exit. And I know, again, it sounds stupid, but I didn't know what to expect on the other side. I didn't know if you were going to be stopped or, you know, what was going to go on. And I said, is there anything I need to do? And he just said, oh, I think you need to dial, or you should dial 111, which is the National Health Service helpline, when you get
what was the number?
home. 111.
111. Okay.
Yeah. So we have, for emergencies, we dial 999, but 111 is like I think it's like a call center you go through to, and if you've got a problem, if you've got a health issue, you tell them what it is, and they'll either advise you go and see a doctor, call an ambulance, but it's not as emergent.
All right then.
So yeah, got through there, left the airport. Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, it was very early in the morning, but really quiet. I don't really think I can't recall seeing anybody really wearing masks. I had to go from one terminal to another to go to the bus station. Because I was earlier than planned, I had to change my ticket, which again was no problem. Right. The coffee shop, you could buy drinks, but you couldn't sit in. So there was a sign saying due to Corona,
so it's not available for a dine-in.
Yeah, so you can only like take away, no dining in. And I waited for my coach, got on the coach, again, no real distancing. There was an older gentleman, and he had got a face mask on as a passenger, but that was it. And then when I got home to my home city about 2 hours later, I did notice that the city centre was, you'd almost think it was a Sunday morning because it was almost empty. So everything was very, very quiet. And that was the day I flew back in on the 23rd. I flew on the 22nd, and with time distance, etc., I got back into the UK the morning of the 23rd. And that evening was when the government announced lockdown.
So, alright, jadi saya tanya sama dia kalau Swipu tadi pengalamannya dia waktu dia terbang dari Indonesia balik ke Inggris ya. Waktu itu kan bulan Maret, dan memang Maret itu kan the world were going crazy about the COVID-19. Jadi banyak sekali orang-orang itu yang ketakutan dan takut bahkan untuk traveling. Tapi waktu itu karena dia harus kembali ke negaranya, jadi dia harus terbang. Nah, pengalaman yang dia rasakan adalah waktu datang ke bandara di Surabaya itu tidak ada protokol kesehatan yang lebih ketat pada waktu itu, karena memang waktu itu dia cuma di thermoscan, kemudian dia ke Singapura juga. Kalau di Singapura lebih banyak protokol kesehatan yang harus dilakukan. Tapi waktu dia nyampe ke Inggris bulan Maret itu, ternyata di sana itu bahkan bandaranya sepi, cuman kayak kehidupan di sana tuh kayak ya sepi juga, cuman kayak semua orang itu nggak pakai masker gitu. Ada beberapa aja yang pakai masker. Jadi situasinya pada waktu itu kayak gitu, colors people, ya. So how's the situation today compared to the last time you were arrived in London?
Like, as in right now, how's it like?
Right now, like the comparison today and the last time.
It's still pretty quiet. If I look out on the street, it's still pretty quiet. But but there is definitely more traffic. There's more people walking around. I notice when I go to the supermarket, there isn't as big a queues. So I think either people have got used to going at certain times.
Yeah.
And there isn't really, like, I popped into the supermarket yesterday and there wasn't a queue. There was somebody giving you, like, you could wipe down the hand baskets if you wanted. So they've got like anti-bac spray, but there wasn't anybody kind of marshalling the queue saying, right, you go, you know. There is in all the supermarkets, there's these markations that show you 2 meters standing apart. And I think people are more cautious of that. I think sometimes people are a bit more friendlier because maybe you haven't, I was on my own for 9.5 weeks in my uncle's property before I came home. So when I went to the supermarket, it was very
because
exciting.
you have to, you know, to do the self-isolation for 14 days. So you were staying at your uncle's house.
I stayed at his house, and then because he had a major operation and he was recuperating with my parents,
All right.
the decision was made that I shouldn't come home. But then we swapped over 2 weeks ago.
All right.
So I was there just over 9 weeks in his house.
So the situation right now is more crowd than before.
It's some places, yeah, but I mean at the moment. So today, it was on the news this morning that Northern Ireland, which is still part of the United Kingdom, they have opened all non-essential shops today, and in England, they're opening non-essential shops on Monday. So that will be interesting to see how many people kind of flood the city centre or the shopping centres, because generally at the moment so like my uncle, he's had a problem with his phone, and we need to take it to a phone shop, but they're not open. So you can do customer service online, but they're telling us, well, you need to get the phone to a shop. And I was like, yes, but your shop isn't open. They're like, no, it's not. So, you know, there's things that you can't do. A lot of banks, I mean, some banks are open, food shops are open, and obviously health places are open. But
Jadi memang kalau people ternyata di sana itu sekarang kondisinya memang sudah lebih kondusif gitu ya kalau bisa dibilang. Jadi memang beberapa toko itu juga sudah mulai buka. Terus habis gitu juga kayak swalayan juga sudah mulai buka gitu ya. Tapi memang sampai sekarang itu juga orang-orang juga masih pada takut sepertinya. So do people still scared to go outside?
I think some people are. I think yeah, I mean, my parents are both in their 70s, so for people with an underlying health condition or of an age, the government have a live broadcast every evening, and they will do a lot of quotations of statistics, how many new cases there have been that day, how many people have died. And sometimes it can be, as with politicians, they don't give you a straight answer. So they're talking about, I think it's on Saturday, if you are a single parent, there's what they've called pods. So if you're a single parent, you can have a family member come and help you in your house, where they've not allowed that before. But somebody phoned into one of the helplines. They have them on the TV, a bit like a chat show thing. And this lady said, oh, my husband works away. So am I classed as a single parent? So can my mum come and help with the kids while he's not in the house? And the scientist said no, because that is still classed as your husband is part of your household, and just because he's not in the house certain like periods of time, I'd maybe say Monday to Friday, this gentleman doesn't live in the house because he's working away from home, she couldn't have help come in the house to help her with the kids.
Jadi memang kalau kita lihat di sana itu juga pemerintahnya itu setiap malam seperti pemerintah kita melakukan kayak semacam press con gitu buat ngasih tahu berapa jumlah kasus baru yang untuk COVID-19. Terus habis itu juga ada himbauan-himbauan yang diberikan kepada masyarakat juga. Dan memang kalau berbicara soal pemerintahan, mereka juga tidak memberikan jawaban yang sangat gamblang gitu ya. Jadi masih ada semacam hal-hal yang bukan ditutup-tutupi, tapi lebih ke menjaga bagaimana supaya situasi masyarakat di sana itu lebih kondusif gitu. So that's the new normal in your country, that every shop is now, not every shop, but you know, several shops are now open, and
well,
do people coming back to the job already?
There's a lot of people that are furloughed.
Mhm.
There's talk about, because they're talking about having social distancing, even when they're trying to reopen places.
Mhm.
The UK government is still saying 2 meters, not 1 meter, but 2 meter social distancing.
Oh,
So
that's interesting. Jadi kalau ternyata itu social distancingnya kalau di sana itu bukan 1 meter tapi 2 meter. So please go on. Two
yeah,
meters and then
so originally, for example, my niece, she just turned 7 yesterday. So she has gone to school pretty much throughout the crisis because her parents are considered key workers. So key
Mhm.
workers are people like health workers, shops, people that work in shops, transport, um, and people, mainly a lot of people to do with health, okay, and keeping the country
Mhm.
going. So schools have been opened for those people's children because obviously a lot of them couldn't go to work unless the kids went to school.
Yeah.
And a couple of weeks, maybe about 2 weeks ago, they announced that certain years were going to go back. I think it was something like 1, 3, and 6 of
Go
primary
back to
school.
school.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
I believe it was Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday evening. They announced
Mhm.
that they'd stop that because basically they can't cope because they can't cope with having 2 meter distance in schools
Yeah.
because
So
most
how's the system that they do in schools? You know, because we have to keep practice the social distancing, right?
yeah, well, the problem is that the classrooms haven't physically got bigger. There's no extra
Yeah.
space, and the
Yeah.
classroom sizes haven't got smaller, the number of children. So they
Yeah.
cannot physically fit 30 children in a class having two
Mhm.
meter distance
So what did they
and
do?
it works. Well, they've told them now that primary school children do not have to go back until September.
Oh, oke. Okay. Wow.
So,
Jadi yang
but
murid-murid primary itu bahkan tidak kembali ke sekolah sampai nanti bulan September karena memang kan sekolah di sana itu tidak bisa cukup dan juga maksudnya tidak ruangannya juga tidak bisa membesar gitu kan karena mereka juga harus tetap praktek yang namanya social distancing. Jadi harus dibagi gitu kalau people ya. Yeah? So that's about the school. How about the job environment?
well, for me personally, there is no jobs because the schools aren't going back.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so
Do
my
people are
plan,
losing job caused by
um,
this COVID-19?
I think a lot of people have been furloughed, which means a lot of people have been kind of laid off. And the government have had a scheme
Like the
where if
unpaid leave, you mean?
no, because the government have a scheme where companies can claim 80%. So workers can still claim 80% of their money.
Yeah.
Um, so like a friend of the family, he had the opportunity to go on furlough leave, and I think he
Mhm.
didn't do it on 2 occasions because colleagues of his had children. So he said, "No, it's okay. I will stay at work. You guys can be furloughed." Okay. But then they're
Okay.
also looking at some people are saying, well, that people are staying off work and still getting 80% of their salary. Some
Oh wow,
people are,
that's still great
yeah,
because in here that would be like, you know, from 50 to 20% of their salary.
yeah. So,
Ya, that's still better. Jadi karena di sana kalau people ternyata kalau misalnya harus yang apa namanya harus yang apa kalau di kantor-kantor di Surabaya atau mungkin di Indonesia itu kan karena harus ada yang gantian gitu kan masuknya. Nah, itu mereka per bulannya dapat gajinya 80%, which is still better daripada kita karena kita di sini kan ada yang cuma 20%, ada yang 50% gitu kalau people. So what did the government do to people who is losing their job about uh, uh, by this COVID-19?
well, we've got a lot of, if you watch the local news, often we have a lot of reports of charities
Mm-hmm.
being asking for more help from
Mm-hmm.
people who can afford it. We
Mm-hmm.
have things that we call food banks.
Oh,
Um,
food bank. Yeah.
yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
there's reports that the numbers of people going to food banks have increased so very,
To
very
give
much.
the food or to accept the food?
No, for people looking for food that are
Oh
now
no.
without work. And apparently, if you are applying for state benefits,
Mhm.
I don't know the quote because the number's gone up, but I mean it's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, that have applied. Sorry, my thing's going
Ya, ya.
for state benefits.
Oke,
Um,
jadi di sana tuh kalau people ya ada sistem yang namanya kayak food bank gitu. Jadi kalau misalnya kita pengen charity untuk memberikan bantuan kepada orang-orang yang tidak bisa apa ya istilahnya tidak bisa provide kehidupan mereka selama masa COVID ini, mereka bisa memberikan bantuan itu lewat food bank itu. Nanti setiap hari orang-orang yang membutuhkan makanan ini datang ke sana. Seperti itu sistemnya kalau di mereka. I want to ask you a little personal question. What's this pandemic situation cost you personally?
my amazing holiday that I had planned in Indonesia at the end of my working
Oh,
visa.
yeah, I
But
remember that, and you were mad about it. Yeah.
I was mad and I was upset until I actually started, because initially I don't think I took it seriously, of
Mm-hmm.
what was going on. And for weeks at school, if you so much as coughed, the kids would go, COVID! Well, no, Corona, it wasn't COVID then. Um, and yeah, it was a bit like, oh, yeah. It's something that happened in China. And, it wasn't, I'd never really kind of took it seriously. And
Yeah, yeah.
even until the day that I booked my ticket home, I had to change my ticket. And my mum said, stop being a baby and come home. And I was like, fine.
Well, I agree
You know,
with her, though. I was agree
yeah.
with her.
I was very lucky because I think one of my colleagues that I live with, she didn't leave until I think it was the Wednesday, and they
Mm.
pretty much got out on the last flights. They were very lucky
Yeah,
apparently to get out. Um,
yeah, yeah.
so, I mean, I got home, and then as I started to realise that I was coming home to a country where there is a welfare state, where there is free healthcare,
Yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah.
was
That's a very
leaving,
good situation. Yeah.
yeah, and I was leaving friends and former colleagues who, like you say, they aren't getting as much financial aid as we can
Yes.
claim in the UK. It made me
Yeah.
go from saying, well, I was having a tantrum that I couldn't do what I wanted to realizing
Mm-hmm.
that was a very selfish attitude and that I was
Mm-hmm.
very lucky to be in the position that I was in. So for me personally, I haven't worked since I've come home, and I do
Mm-hmm.
find that frustrating.
I
I
know,
do.
I know, because I know how you love working.
I love having routine, having something to do.
I know.
But there simply isn't the work. I applied for jobs before I got home, and I was due to go to my regular agency to get work. But obviously, the schools aren't open, so there isn't the work.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I have managed, as you know, to get onto. I've secured a training course for
Mm.
September, but then even they've written to me and said, "We hope to see you in September because it's a teacher training course." So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm back to the UK to do my official UK teacher training
Teaching
certificates.
qualification. Yeah,
And yeah, potentially there may not be teaching. So,
yeah.
you know, and the one thing is I'm not necessarily missing out by not being in Indonesia in the sense of the school closed.
Yeah, yeah.
They are doing some sessions online. So people look on Instagram, they are doing sessions online, and I believe some of the local teachers are also doing private lessons. But it wasn't as if there was a job for me as a native speaking teacher, because
Yeah.
that ended when the
Exactly.
Indonesian government closed the schools. The course stopped. So
Ya, jadi tadi saya
um,
nanya kalau people sama dia ya, apa sih kira-kira um, efek personal gitu yang dia rasakan dengan adanya COVID-19 ini. Jadi dia bilang yang pertama itu adalah liburannya di Indonesia itu akhirnya batal gitu ya. She's been prepared for the holiday in Indonesia and it was suddenly cancelled. I know you were upset. Terus tapi ternyata
uh,
kalau dia bilang di sana ya di Inggris tadi dia sempat cerita kalau ternyata di Inggris itu kan memang healthcare-nya atau apa ya kesehatannya itu dibiayai semuanya oleh pemerintah. Jadi memang kenapa mereka itu biaya hidupnya tinggi karena memang itu dikembalikan lagi ke masyarakatnya dengan bentuk sistem healthcare yang lebih apa ya kalau saya bilang lebih mumpuni daripada di negara kita. Jadi kalau di negara kita kan ditarik bulanan gitu ya BPJS. Kalau di sana itu dimasukkan ke pajak-pajak penghasilan, kemudian pajak misalnya pajak-pajak yang dibayarkan sama mereka, kemudian nanti mereka profitnya dapat kayak semacam biaya kesehatan gratis dari pemerintah, full, nggak dipotong sama sekali, nggak ditambahin biaya sama sekali. Itu enaknya sih kalau di sana gitu ya. Dan dia juga sampai sekarang belum bisa kerja karena memang juga belum ada pekerjaan yang available, karena memang dia kembali ke negaranya itu untuk mengambil teaching qualification di Inggris supaya dia bisa nanti kembali lagi mengajar di seluruh dunia gitu ya. This would be my last question for you, Michaela.
Okay.
And okay, so the last question is, what do you think that we should do to save the human race? Is this a hard question for you?
Yeah, there's on a general thing.
Yeah, on a general thing, of course. Yeah.
I think we need to pay more attention to how it started and maybe the ignorance of us as humans. Obviously, that we've done something, we've messed with something that's caused.
We did, yeah, we did, and we do, and we will always be because we're just humans.
Yeah, but I think there's always a lesson to be learned. I think at the moment, obviously, people are busy fighting the virus as compared to trying to really pin it down of where it came from, how it came, and what they need to do to stop that in the future. I think I don't see as many pictures now, but a few weeks ago, if you looked on Facebook, etc., there were lots of pictures of how nature is almost healing itself with the lockdown because the pollution has significantly less. Although having said that, now there's all these.
That's a good thing. Our Earth are now healed.
Yeah, well, it's getting there. But then you're also seeing lots of pictures of face masks washing up. So it's just like, don't be stupid. It's like,
don't do it again.
But I mean, if people aren't disposing, there's so much more PPE equipment and so much plastic and so much more. I'm a anti-plastic person, so
you are a very, very you're the right person.
I think it's to try and look at how it's come about and what they can do, what we can do to stop that. I think sometimes even just recently, when I did drive to the supermarket, I mean, like, no offense, but the British driving is nothing like the Indonesian roads and the Indonesian driving and the lack of observance to rules. But this one lady, did she?
You like it here. You missed that already. I know, right?
I miss going around on my little bike, but I do remember I was going around a traffic island, okay? So traffic island means that I'm coming from the right, I have right of way, not like Indonesia. And this woman went to pull out and I was thought, idiot. But I was like, okay. and then she stalled the car. Now, usually I probably would have had a few beep beep beeps of not the horn, but
yeah, I know. Yeah.
But I do remember kind of thinking, oh well. I've nowhere to go to.
Stuff, right?
Well, you and your nose for the small stuff, but basically, I had nowhere to be, if you like. I wasn't rushing to a meeting or rushing to go to work. My big outing that day was a trip to the supermarket. So if it took me 2 minutes longer because of a stupid person driving on the road, it wasn't such a big deal. So I don't know how long that calm will last for.
I mean, like this. One more question. Can I ask you that? Are you missing living in Indonesia?
Yes. Yeah. God, yes. Okay, so I don't miss the constant sweat. I don't miss rats.
Sweat, of course. Yeah.
Don't miss rats, cockroaches, or mosquitoes. But I miss the possibilities.
But you miss me. I know you miss me.
But I miss the possibilities. When we were in Indonesia, in Surabaya, we literally would say, do you want to go to Bali this weekend? And we would be like, do I? And now I'm back in England. I am back in the country where people go to Bali on honeymoon, having spent years saving for a trip to Bali. So Bali literally is a million miles away, kind of, it feels like that. And so I miss the possibilities, and the weather this week has been really bad. I don't
All
think
right
anybody's
then.
actually told God that it is June. So when we were on lockdown, the weather was nice and typical for
Mhm.
British weather. We had some really nice days, but last week I complained to my parents I'm moving back to Indonesia because I'm freezing, and they just laughed at me.
And
Yeah,
they agree with you.
it's been cold. Um,
Ya, jadi
yeah,
tadi saya tuh sempat tanya sama dia kalau people apa sih yang harus kita lakukan sebagai umat manusia untuk menyelamatkan kehidupan manusia ya dari adanya wabah atau mungkin dari adanya apapun yang terjadi di belahan bumi manapun gitu ya. Jadi yang dia jawab itu adalah kita harus paling tidak mengurangi ignorance kita terhadap lingkungan, terhadap sesama, seperti itu supaya kita tuh bisa lebih aware gitu ya, maksudnya sama lingkungan, terus habis gitu kita juga bisa menolong sesama, maksudnya kayak gitu. The point of humanity, the humanity that we need right now to save the human race, right? Not human rights, human race. What did I
yeah,
say?
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yesterday,
So,
because it was my niece's birthday yesterday, okay, we
tell
had
happy birthday to India, okay?
shock horror. I got told
Mm-hmm,
we're having McDonald's. I
mm-hmm.
was like, oh, okay, now you know I don't eat McDonald's, I know. But it's her birthday. And my brother went and they have to queue. That's a stupid thing about British people as well. They're queuing to get into McDonald's and KFC like they'd never eaten in their life before. And apparently there's because there was a few of us, there was a £25 limit on how much he could buy. So he had to go around
Oh my,
twice.
25 pound limit.
Yes. That's like 500,000, right? And so he had to go around twice apparently. Um, and I was like, okay, that's just. And then I did say something. They said about Uber Eats, and I said, oh,
Mm.
thinking a bit like Grab or Gojek. I said, how much would
Yeah,
it
yeah,
be
yeah.
if you had that delivered? And I'm
And how
sure
much?
it £3.99. So say £4, which would be around
80,000, I believe.
80,
60
about
or 80.
80,000. Around
Yeah.
80,000 to have it delivered. So that would be the delivery cost. That would not be the food cost.
Oh, you
And
are
my niece,
officially missing the Gojek and the GoFood and the Grab food and everything there.
I am not allowed to be as lazy because I cannot afford to be as lazy. So
All
yeah.
right then. All right then, Michaela, thank you so much for having
Okay.
me, and thank you so much for making time for doing this. Do
No
you
problem.
want to say something for Indonesian people here?
Just I wish you guys that are still in Indonesia all the best. Everybody was really friendly when I was there. I love your country and I wish everybody safe to keep safe and take care.
Yeah, 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 and you
Okay.
too. You have to stay, stay home and take care of your health, right?
Yeah.
I'll see
Well,
you in 2 years. Is it two
I'll
years or
see you
1 year?
soon. As
Hmm?
soon as I can.
Yeah, as soon as you can. Okay, that's a promise then. All right then. Thank you so much for making
Bye.
time. Okay, stay home, stay healthy. Tell Indy happy birthday from me,
I will.
and also tell Shannon she's pretty, and tell
Okay.
hi to your mom, your dad, and also Michael, and also
Okay.
Andy and Lisa. All right then.
Okay. I will do. See you
All right.
later.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Jadi itu dia tadi people ya obrolan saya bersama dengan Michaela Fern, sharing-sharingnya kita tentang get to know the new normal in UK. Saya tadi berjanji 20 menit dan saya sudah melanggarnya karena memang seru banget ngobrolnya. Jadi mungkin next time kayaknya saya nggak perlu janji deh kalau misalnya ini bakalan berapa menit gitu ya kan. I hope you guys enjoy my conversation with Michaela. Terima kasih banyak untuk Colors People yang udah stay on ya. Dan jangan lupa kalau misalnya buat Colors People yang mungkin barusan join di Instagram Live saya untuk kali ini. Saya lihat dulu sebentar ini kayaknya banyak orang yang ada di sini. Hai semuanya, maaf ya saya nggak bisa sapa satu persatu. Buat Mas Sony, in our country we fight COVID-19 with better system. In their country they fight it together. Ya mungkin kalau misalnya dengan sistem yang kita punya ya, tapi dengan apa ya istilahnya dengan kekompakan seperti di negara mereka mungkin kita akan lebih baik atau mungkin kita bisa paling nggak lebih cepat gitu untuk mengatasi yang namanya COVID-19 ya. Kalau misalnya kalau people punya seseorang di luar negeri sana yang bisa saya ajak ngobrol atau mungkin pengen sharing-sharing soal keadaan mereka di negaranya mereka untuk menghadapi COVID-19 atau bahkan new normalnya mereka seperti apa, boleh langsung aja sneak to my DM, kasih tahu siapa orangnya, nanti saya akan ajak ngobrol di live session berikutnya. Buat yang belum sempat untuk melihat Instagram live kali ini, Nanti saya akan posting di IGTV saya dan juga di IGTV-nya @colorsfm. Oke, finally this is Satria Pamungkas. Ya, stay home, stay healthy, stay positive, and color your world. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.